Hello again, chaps and chapettes, how are we all doing? It is lovely to see you all again. As always, I want to briefly run through a story, guys, from the BBC about 2 days ago, I think this was now, and I just want to express my disgust in the way that some people's minds work in this day and age, particularly the youth of today. Certain youth, if you catch my drift. Now, this took place in Dagenham, I believe it was, in East London. Do correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. Which is, I think, at the last census, which was 2021, was 37% white. So I'm not entirely sure what it's going to be about 4 years later. Heaven only knows. Going the same speed and the same direction as the likes of Leicester, London, that kind of a place. Anyway, this is about an old fella, 76 years old, widower, who had some news, break a window in his house, throw a firework in there, and he sadly burnt to death. Sentencing very, very lenient, if you ask me. Anyway, no more spoilers. Spoilers, this isn't a film, Daniel, fucking hell. This is a tragedy. No more about what's actually going on until I've gone through a bit of the story with you guys. 2 teenagers have been locked up for a firework attack which led to the death of a widower in his terraced home in East London. Yes, it was East London, thank you. In the years leading up to the attack, Robert Price, 76, had been a target of a prolonged campaign of harassment and criminal damage, the Old Bailey was told. Nathan Otidolikuwu, Ogoman, 18 and 16-year-old who cannot be named due to his age, threatened to torch the pensioner before putting a hole in his window and pushing a firework into his home on Oval Road, North Dagenham, last July. The pair had admitted manslaughter and were sentenced on Monday by Judge Rebecca Trowler, KC. Otidolikuwu, I mean, fuck me sideways, what a bloody name, was jailed for 6 years. Take this into account, guys. That poor old man burnt to death, probably in absolute agony, couldn't breathe, couldn't see, and this fucker gets 6 years. I mean, I just cannot comprehend our judicial system. I honestly can't. Was jailed for 6 years and the youth was handed a custodial sentence of 2 years and 8 months. He'll be out in 16 months. I guarantee it. Judge Trowler told the younger boy Mr. Price lost his life in circumstances of planned attack where I'm sure you intended some harm. And in any event, it was highly reckless. Reckless! The man fucking died. Reckless. And, of course, to top it all off, only manslaughter, not murder, which is exactly what was in these boys' minds. In any event, it was highly reckless as to risk of harm. She noted the older defendant had poor impulse control and a lack of appreciation of the impact on others. Everything's so it sounds so leftist, doesn't it? Even in the courts, I think this fucking parasitic bacteria has infested people's minds. I mean, nothing ever fails to fucking amuse me. Now, let's just go over this step by step here, guys. 76-year-old man, not a young fella anymore, terrorised. For years upon years, he had bricks thrown through his window. You should have seen his house. His house was literally boarded up. I thought, when I initially saw the doorbell footage of these lads doing this, that it was a disused house. It looked disused. It looked dishevelled. It looked abandoned. This man must have gone through years upon years of mental and physical torture, which absolutely sickens me to the pit of my stomach. Can you cast your minds back, guys, to when you were in school? This may have happened to you, it may not have. I had a bit of a gob on me when I was at school. I gave shit and gob back to people I should never really have gob back to. You know, really tough lads, bullies, that kind of a thing. And there was one time where I did that in primary school, and one of the toughest lads in the school threatened to kick my head in after school. And you had that feeling in the pit of your stomach, that dread of what's going to come about 3:15 when the bell goes. Thankfully, nothing came of this. I escaped with my head on my shoulders. But this man must have been having that feeling every single day for years, at 76 years old. I have something else I want to throw your way, guys. Have you guys out there ever seen a movie called Harry Brown? It's basically about an old fella who's played by Michael Caine, fucking brilliantly, by the way. And he was some kind of RAF kind of Marine in the Second World War, you know, one of these war heroes that were fucking hard as nails. He knew how to handle a gun, he knew about covert operations, that kind of a thing. Anyway, during the daytime, he used to play dominoes or chess, I can't remember which one it was, with his old mate in the pub every day, you know, a bit of company, get them out of the house, that kind of a thing. And much like this poor fella here, this guy in the movie was also victimised, bullied, harassed on day in, day out, to the point where this man got himself a bayonet. He was going to protect himself from these fucking arseholes making his life an absolute misery. And sadly, in the movie, they killed this man. And Harry Brown, the guy played by Michael Caine, took his revenge spectacularly. Initially, he went to the police like any good citizen would do, and of course, the police failed miserably to bring these people to justice. They were still walking on the streets, still terrorising people, so he took it into his own hands. He hunted down each and every one of these young lads, these gangs in London, and yeah, either shot them or killed them in some other way. He was hard as nails, and I think we need someone like this in the old community, someone who's not going to take any more shit from youngsters who disrespect people and the sort of life that they have led, particularly war heroes. I'm not too sure this guy's a little bit too young to maybe have been in the war, but you catch my drift. Anyway, guys, my thoughts and prayers go out to this poor man. He probably died a very lonely, terrified man, and thanks to these fucking assholes, it has now been taken away from him in the most horrific way I can possibly imagine. Being burnt to death is one of my all-time fears of death. That, torture and drowning. Anyway, that's another subject for another day. I just thought I'd bring this to you guys. 6 years is absolutely laughable for killing someone. Can you even begin to imagine if it was a group of white lads who killed an elderly black gentleman? It would be all over the press, it would be frontline news, people would be taken to the streets demanding life sentences, and 9 times out of 10 I can bet my fucking bollocks to a barn dance them life sentences would be handed down. Perfect example of two-tier justice, even though MPs and Keir Starmer says it's a far-right conspiracy. Bollocks. Thanks for watching, guys. Let me know what you think in comments as always, and I'll see you in a bit. Cheers.